Small Town Scuttlebutt.
Welcome, Scuttlebuds. Episode 270 something. First time I've done it by myself. Why am I doing it by myself? Because Liz is tied up with work and Evan's doing something. I don't remember exactly, but it sounded important enough to miss a show. So here we go. I'm going solo today. This is usually where someone else talks, but they're not going to because they're not here. So I got to get used to that. Not usually a one-man show. And I'll tell you why. Because I already feel like a narcissist in a way for even having a podcast. Like, this world is always talking. Everyone's talking, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, if I'm going to make fun of that, isn't it hypocritical that, you know, not only am I on the social media, but I also have my own podcast? I mean, I built the studio in my basement, got this equipment through the sponsorship funds, and here I am pontificating like I'm anybody. I'm not. I'm just Rick. Just Rick, drinking my tea in my basement, playing with my toys. But speaking of social media, I've been doing this thing where you got to be on social media if you want to do stand-up comedy. For whatever reason, the comedy gods have declared that your Instagram followers is now a stage credit, right? It's not, it used to be, hey, you've seen him at the Laugh Factory, the comedy club here, the place over there. Now he's here tonight. Give it a warm welcome too, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, this next comic has 500,000 Instagram followers. It's like, so it's a completely different medium. It's a completely different medium. When you're on stage doing stand-up comedy, you're literally by yourself up on a stage. You wrote it, you rehearsed it, you memorized it, you play acted the emphasis points, maybe with some body language, whatever you did, but it's you, it's raw. And it's real time. And there's a live audience to judge. Is it funny? We laugh. If it's not, we don't. You know, it's a very unique experience to be up there doing that. And it's fulfilling. It's great. It's great, especially when it works. But when I make a reel in my living room, talking at my phone, and saying, oh, that didn't work out, let me do it again. No live audience. It just, apples and oranges. That's all I'm saying. Apples and oranges. Anybody can write a script and rehearse it 50 times and edit out their stuff and get their funny point across. But why that translates to legitimacy on stage time, I don't know. But it's the where we are. So I hit the social media hard and aggressive for a period, and then I get burned out by it. And I take a break, which I probably shouldn't do, and then I get back into it. Well, this past weekend I was at Wachusett Mountain in Massachusetts, where the home of downhill skiing, and my son was taking lessons, and I'm by myself. I thought, hey, you know what? The New England Patriots are going to the AFC Championship. They're not playing the Bills at home. They're going to Denver. I think that they kind of got robbed. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people don't. But that's what's great about sport. We can watch the same game and have a debate over what was right, what was wrong, all the shouldas and couldas and would'ves and all that stuff. But I made a reel just sitting there. Listen to this. This is the effort I put into this. I took 5 images of Bills players, Bills fans, Bills Mafia, which I greatly respect. I mean, you guys are just nice, good sports. And God, a lot of heart and thick skin. I mean, you've been through the ringer. Bills is an acronym for Boy, I Love Losing Super Bowls. And here you are, jumping on tables, going to support your team that never gets there. Never crossed the finish line. Never in the history of the franchise. Never finished the job. And they're like in the zone right now, and it's got to hurt. It's got to kill you. As a Patriots fan, I'm so far removed from the bad team days of the 80s, 80s and 90s, particularly for me. These last couple of years was just a blip, you know, but I felt like making something positive because, and I'm not trying to be cheap here or anything, but the Buffalo Bills are kind of like our little brother, you know, like you love them, you want to put them in a headlock and give them a noogie, you know, mess with them, beat them, let them know that you're better than them. But at the end of the day, you know, I want you to succeed. I mean, if not me, then you. That's how I felt. So I made a thing, just five images with a text overlay talking about basically, we're going to take it from here. We will avenge your loss against the Broncos. We've got your back, tongue in cheek, right? Because I'm not rubbing it in that you lost. I'm just saying, hey, we got to carry the torch from here on behalf of the AFC East. Yes? Okay. So spending 30 minutes finding pictures, uploading them, thinking about what I want to say, finding some music to put in and uploading it. It took about 30 minutes, and I got 82,457 views, which is, I think, pretty good. I don't know if I think that qualifies as viral. I mean, that's a lot, right? Almost 100,000 people. 892 likes, 143 comments, and 149 shares. So this, according to, judging by my other activity, this one actually got hooked by the algorithm, was taken for a ride, and a lot of people jumped on it. And this is what I want to talk about and why I'm not a big fan of social media, because when I'm talking like on a stage, talking to an audience, I'm talking to you and you and you and you over there, and I can see your faces, and maybe I talked to you before the show a little bit, and I feel there's a connection, right? I feel like these people are real people and they're good people. They came out on a Saturday night, they spent money, and they want to be entertained, okay? Then there's the online social media audience whom hides behind their keyboard and rifles off random stuff, and it's really, I'm an interpersonal kind of person, so there's a barrier there. I'm not a big fan of it, you know. To each his own, you know. But here's some nice comments that I did get, okay, because they do exist on the internet. Some people say good things, or just, you know, agreeable things. Like this person says, "I completely agree." Okay, thanks. I got some validation. I just picked a couple out, you know, like out of the 143 comments, I picked a couple good ones and bad ones just to show you the juxtaposition, the range of people that you're talking to that you don't even know or relate to. This one is Eagles fan, but Bills were robbed. Now I pulled that one out because I'm like, wow, an Eagles fan didn't tell me to go F myself or say Bills suck, you know, or whatever. I mean, good sport coming from the Eagles fan base. Here's one I thought was particularly positive. Great joke, good comedian, bravo, Finkster. Finkster's not capitalized, but we'll let it go because the intentions here are good. And then one thing to lose a game, but have to be decided by a blown personal interference or supposed fumble. I'm a lifelong Pats fan, but Buffalo got hosed. Great. That's what I was saying. So there's a lot of people that did agree with me. And then there's the other people. This is the fun stuff, right? It's, and why am I sharing this with you? Am I butthurt about it? No, I just want to kind of call out the fact that if this is you on social media, you're kind of telling everybody that maybe you're a miserable person and you don't have much going on. I just feel like those who take time out of their day to be critical of benign statements, like, sorry, Bills, go Pats. Whoa. We won't have, let me tell you why you're an asshole. You know, maybe you need a hobby. Maybe you need to go down in your basement and play with your toys like I am right now. I don't know. Okay, so these are a couple of the negative comments I got. The fuck we won't. The Bills didn't get screwed. They fucking choke, you fucking loser. And that was in all caps. That person is a spirited NFL fan for sure. Here's another one. Fuck you. No one feels bad when the Patriots get screwed over. We're not going to avenge shit for the Bills. What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't know. Being a good sport. And then, who the hell is Rick Fink? Who cares what you have to say? Well, thank you for asking. I'll tell you who Rick Fink is. Rick Fink's generally a nobody, just like you, and you, and everyone else. Nobody's special. We're all just here living on this planet, trying to get through this realm to the next one. And, while we're here, if we want to talk about sports, I think that it's your God-given right to do so. And feel free to weigh in. There, I hope I answered your question. So anyway, there we are. The Bills, I'm happy for the Patriots, I'm happy for the Patriots. One thing that's really messed up is the Denver Broncos are not selling tickets outside of their fan base sphere of influence, the greater Colorado area. And that's kind of not cool. In fact, I don't even know if that should be legal. I mean, I'm not going to get into it. I wasn't going to go pay for the tickets. I personally like to watch a game from home on television. I like to hear the commentators telling me what's going on. I love storylines. So I wasn't going to go to the game. It's also 2,000 something miles away. But there's a lot of people who do want to go, and they can't. They can't go watch their team because the people selling the tickets are denying a prejudice against a region of the country, New England. I don't think that's very polite and fair, but I hope that Pats fans find a workaround. I mean, you'll get second and third party ticket brokers and you'll pay a premium, but I know there'll be Patriots there. And I know that we're going to win. I hope we win. What to talk about today without Liz and Evan to bounce ideas off of? Well, we get these listener emails. And typically I'll just respond to them in bulk, check the email on occasion and then go, oh, we got some. But we never really worked it into the show, but I am doing that today because I'm looking for things to talk about. And I got 3 of them here. So we'll do a listener email segment. And here, this one's called Christmas Lights. When is it time? All right, so this one guy writes, hey, guys, longtime listener, first-time emailer. I was hoping you could settle something that has become a very real discussion in our house. You've talked before about the difference between real Christmas lights, a.k.a. the ones you freeze your fingers putting up yourself, versus the ones installed by a company that mysteriously disappear without the homeowner lifting a finger. Yep, that's for sure. I don't like those big bulbous lights that go around the house like you look like a Broadway theater. It doesn't say Christmas to me. Also, you shouldn't be freezing your fingers off because you should be getting your Christmas lights up starting in November before Thanksgiving so they're ready to go. So you still have some mild temperatures. Just a tip from a guy who puts over 5,000 lights on his house every Christmas. Now I'm curious where you land on the takedown. Is there a respectable window where light can stay up after Christmas without being judged? Is New Year's acceptable mid-January, or is anything past December 26th a cry for help? I have a feeling Rick is very specific take on this, especially knowing his feelings on effort, accountability, and the whole we got paid for it so it stays mentality. Curious where the line is. Mark from New Hampshire. I'm with you, man. This household, the Christmas tree comes down December 26th, typically. I put my foot down this year. I said, nope, it stays up till New Year's. My wife resigned, said, fine. Day before New Year's, she was up there taking the lights off and taking the ornaments off and packing everything up. And it's kind of sad, but I guess it's time to move on. With regard to the lights outside, because there's 5,000 of them, because it took me several hours across a few weeks here and there, chipping away to install them, and because they look so pretty and festive, I argued that the shelf life of these things should extend beyond Christmas for a little bit. So we kept them up after New Year's, and they stayed up for another week. And then my wife started saying, okay, so when are we going to take these lights down? And I said, you know something? How's this? When the town takes down the lights in the town park, the town square downtown, we'll take ours down. And she said, okay, that's fair. So sure enough, a couple days later, I go for a car ride at night through town, and bam, the lights are off. it's time to take him down. But I thought, that's not for me to call out. She needs to recognize that. So I didn't tell her that the lights were out in the downtown square. As we discussed, I figured when she sees it and addresses it, that's when it's official. And so that went a couple days. And then we were coming up on Martin Luther King Day. We just had that this week. And I thought to myself, this is actually probably the right time to take the lights down, because let's face it, we're about 3 weeks removed from Christmas, and we're moving on to another holiday. So my answer here, Mark from New Hampshire, is Martin Luther King Day in the middle of January is the appropriate time to end the Christmas lights on your house phase. Now, you could keep them up for MLK Day. Remember his quote, "Darkness does not drive out darkness, only light can do that," right? So it could be an homage to that quote and that man on that day, if that's how you wish to celebrate. Otherwise, you can take it down the night before and just be done with it and make way for the next recognized holiday on the U.S. calendar. So that's my take there, Mark. And as far as taking the lights down, like off your house, by the first thaw, I mean, I'll get out there and start taking things off the bushes, but get the lights off your house. If it's Easter, no, I'm going to raise the bar. If it's St. Patrick's Day and you still have Christmas lights on your house, you're just lazy and your house doesn't look pretty anymore. It looks ridiculous. It looks run down. It's counterintuitive to the purpose of the lights in the first place. But enough about Christmas lights. I have another letter here. How do you deal with everything going on? Hey, Rick, Liz, and Evan. They're not here, so I'll speak on their behalf. I really appreciate that you don't turn the show into a political shouting match, but I've been wondering something lately. With everything going on in the world right now, news alerts, social media, outrage, group text, lighting up nonstop, how do you personally navigate it without losing your mind? Do you tune things out, limit what you consume, or just accept that everything is broken and laugh it through? I feel like Gen X is stuck in this weird spot where we're informed enough to be stressed, but old enough to know most of it is noise. Yes, yes, yes. Right there. You nailed it, buddy. Curious how you guys manage it without letting it take over your lives. Love the show. It's one of the few things that still feels normal. Well, thanks. And that's Jen from Massachusetts. Jen from Massachusetts, I think you nailed it on the head. Like, we're old enough, we've been around long enough to know that a lot of it is just noise. It's a lot of grandstanding. The loudest people on both sides of the spectrum, like at the far, I'm talking like 10% extreme over here and 10% extreme over here are fighting. I wish we could just take the national dialogue and just listen to people that play within the 40-yard lines, because centrists that lean to the left and to the right, but can still hold hands. And like my wife and I, right? I lean to the right. My wife leans to the left. We are totally cool. Nothing about her politics annoys me. She donates money to the ACLU. I mean, can you get any more liberal than that? Maybe she leans over to the far left on that. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Do what you want. Whatever makes you happy. Okay. It's none of my business. Why do I care? I'm going to be dead in 30 years. So, I do think about this thing because I used to get fired up. I used to be one of those, I wouldn't say a troll, but I used to, in my town on social media, it's an echo chamber for sure. It's a very, one way is the only way kind of mindset. And anyone that deviated from that would be ostracized, or the mob mentality would come out. And I had no problem kind of pointing out a divergent viewpoint. Sometimes I was wholeheartedly behind it and disagreed with the opposition and wanted to join a conversation. Other times I'm like, this is ridiculous parroting rhetoric. It's not a conversation. It's just a big thread of propaganda. Let me throw in something else to think about, and yeah, I guess I was having fun with it because you knew it was going to upset people because you're kind of calling out a contradiction, or you're pointing out something that they can't deny, and it ruins their day. And then I thought, well, what's the point? You're not going to change minds, and people are getting upset. And if people are upset, let them be upset. Give them space, and don't be upset with life. And I got to be honest, there's a article in the New York Times. Have you heard about this new acronym called AWFUL, AWFUL? It's an acronym that popped up in recent political and media discussions to mean affluent, white, female, urban liberal. I feel like urban is too specific. I feel like it could apply to affluent, white, female liberals anywhere. I mean, I live in a small town, and they're definitely here. They kind of run the place. So I could argue that affluent, white, female, urban liberal could be also affluent, white, female, unhinged liberal, unreasonable, unwilling to negotiate liberal, whatever. I mean, I think there's room there for interpretation. It's a term used mostly by critics on the right as a shorthand and often a jab, you think, at a specific demographic they see as culturally influential in cities, media, and progressive politics. Yeah, I've noticed that. I've noticed that when I see these, if it's in my town and they do a rally, it's all women, and they're white. And if I see the stuff online, it's like 90% white women, and maybe a couple cuck husbands and boyfriends that want to get laid. But for the most part, it's a bunch of women, and I don't know. I mean, to their credit, they seem like they're educated women. But how do I get through it? Well, I just kind of go, okay, I see that. I see that there's some dissent in the world. Do I think that everything that's going on is fair, legit, whatever? Well, no. But what can I do about that? What power do I have? Well, I can vote, and I do that. Also, I can reach out to my congressperson or senator, which I haven't done recently. I think I've done that once in my life. But I'm just letting it play out. I can't get involved. I can't get involved. And I wish a lot of other people just worried and worked on themselves and try to improve themselves. Like, is your life perfect? Are you doing the best you can? Are you helping society? Are you contributing? Are you a positive role model to other people? If you said no to any of those things, then maybe you should go back to the locker room and redraw up those X's and O's and have a new game plan and go out and carpe the diem the next day. And if we all did that and stopped just shouting at each other and blowing whistles in each other's faces, I think that'd be great. And that's just my opinion. Not to get too political. But awful is kind of a funny acronym. Okay, is it just me, or is everything harder now? Hey guys, maybe this is just me getting older, but I swear everything that used to be simple now requires an app, a password, a verification code, and a follow-up email I'll never read. Yes. I have to say this about the listeners. Like, you guys are our audience. This is we're experiencing this stuff together, man. And it's good to get these kind of emails, because it's like what frustrates me frustrates you, and whatever makes me enlightened and feels good and positive, same with you. Like, it makes me kind of feel that I'm not so far off the beaten path, I tried doing one of the basic adult tasks last week and somehow ended up resetting 3 passwords, agreeing to terms I didn't understand, and being asked to rate my experience. We'll love to hear your take, especially Rick's. And that's Dave in Massachusetts. Dave in Massachusetts, I can tell you right now, because we started the show talking about social media and how I'm supposed to be like talking to all the, responding to comments and liking and sharing and engaging and blah, 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 right? I can't, and some younger people might laugh at this, but I can't even get on my Instagram or my Facebook on my computer. And I know you'll laugh, be like, well, you're only supposed to do it on your phone. I don't know. I like a big screen. I'm sorry. I'm sitting down. I'm hanging out. I got a big keyboard and a screen here instead of like working with my thumbs and my eyesight's going. I like bigger stuff. So can I get on Facebook or Instagram on my computer? No, I'm locked out. I signed up for this. When you're like try to click through next without reading stuff, just thinking it's all bullshit. Well, sometimes it's not. And I got myself signed up for the 2-part authentication process. And that's just thrown everything off. And now it's like, well, what's your password? I'm like, I've got like 6 or 7 passwords that I rotate in my head. And I tried them all and none of them were working. And then I had to go against, is my username Rick Fink Jr. or is it rickfinkjr@gmail.com? So I got to go do that all again. And all the combinations, there's like 14 different possibilities. None of them work out. Now I'm locked out, by the way. I'm locked out. Then I try to get in touch with Facebook. Can only do it through chat. I'm doing it on chat. Then that gets disrupted because Verizon service went down. Whatever. I don't know. What I do know is I'm locked out of my computer for my own social media. And I don't really care. When I look at my kids' grades or whatever, I got to log in. Like, why there's things that don't need to be protected, I don't think. Also, if it's my computer and my phone and I want to get into it and I got to log into that, isn't that like good enough for security? I don't think like a criminal. I don't think like a nefarious entity, some asshole who wants to like steal people's identities. So, you know, I know I'm naive in this area, but boy, the world would be great if we didn't have assholes that are trying to screw you over, because I understand we have to protect ourselves from that. But man, I mean, when's the retina scanning come in? Why can't I just look at my computer and it goes bing? You know, that'd be great. All right, let's do some ads. How about that? I have sponsors. We have 4 sponsors, and God, I love them. And I'm not just saying that because they pay me to say that. I've actually curated and selected these sponsors, or they've reached out to me and I've said, yeah, that's a good partnership. On 3 occasions, I've been approached by a company or a business that was interested in learning about advertising rates and sponsorship opportunities. And I just thought, this is not a product or service that I feel is aligned with our demo, which is like the Gen X homeowner family rat race running family, you know? So we pass. Also, I don't want to flood the advertising with 8,000 advertisers. So I have 4 good ones, right? Today, we'll read 2 of them. This one's from Winslow Design. They're known for blending modern aesthetics with functional spaces. Recognized for their work on high-end residential and commercial projects, they take pride in providing personalized strategies that reflect each client's unique quality and style. Their team meticulously manages every phase from initial concepts to project completion, ensuring a seamless and stress-free experience. Their recent press coverage includes Martha Stewart Online and a Boston Globe magazine, which highlight their creativity and professionalism, affirming their reputation as a leader in architectural design. Whether you're looking for contemporary elegance or eclectic charm, visit winslowdesign.net to bring your vision to life. I can attest to that. They did our house. They renovated the whole thing except for this room. I said, leave this one alone. I wanted to make it mine, so I did. What do you think of the shiplap? What do you think of the the jackalope? That was me. That was all me. Interior design. If you want any tips, hit me up. I can help you out. All right. Since 1962, Royal Pizza has been Medfield's go-to spot for delicious, freshly made pizzas, subs, and salads. Their secret? Dough made fresh daily, several times a day. Homemade sauces and dressings, and 100% real cheese. Customers rave about their Greek-style pizzas and their friendly, welcoming staff. One reviewer mentioned the pizza is very tasty, great crust without drowning it in sauce. Royal Pizza offers a special deal. Buy 2 large or 4 small pizzas and get a Greek salad free. For a meal that's both satisfying and affordable, visit royalpizzamedfield.com. Royal Pizza is my go-to when I don't want to cook or, I want something different. Like, spoil yourself. Like, I'm going to hang out tonight. Let's have some. Who wants some mozzarella cheese sticks? Who wants a grilled chicken salad? Royal Pizza. Call them up. They're good. Hey, I got some comedy shows coming up. You want to hear about them? This Friday and Saturday, January 23 and 24, I will be hosting at Roar Comedy Club at MGM Springfield opening for Chris Fenjola. And I went online to the Roar Comedy website, and it has been earmarked a high demand event. There's only a few tickets left, and that's a big auditorium. So it's going to be a great night. Fill up that room. The more, the merrier. There's nothing better than walking on stage and all the seats are filled and everyone's looking up at you like, give us a good time. And I'm like, I'm going to try. And it works out 99% of the time. So I'm particularly excited to host an open for this comedian at this venue on these dates, Friday and Saturday, January 23 and 24. Also, Thursday, February 5 coming up, at Seventh Wave Brewery in Medfield, Massachusetts. Just want to take a second to plug this new venture that I've got going on. If you're looking at it on YouTube or whatnot, I got this sign here. It says Scuttlebutt Comedy. That's the sign that goes up on the stage when I bring my portable stage that I built. Bought some plywood and 2x6s, made a portable stage. And I flank it with two 12-inch speakers, and we got a spotlight, and we are a professionally presented comedy show. It's worth your time to go and check it out. And on February 5, we have 5 esteemed comics that I've hand-selected myself. If you don't like the show, it's my fault, but you're going to like the show. Stephen Wheeler, Brianna Woodward, Al Christakis, Melissa Rush. She's from the guest on our episode 270, by the way. And Nick Gregoretti. They will be the comics doing 15 minutes each. Come on down. You're going to love them. I guarantee it. All right. What else should I be talking about now? Let's see. Shit. What should I talk about? Oh, well. Oh, I know. How about this? I went on to ChatGPT. Okay. Went on to ChatGPT and I just prompted it. Hey, I'm doing my comedy podcast solo today. Give me some topics that relate to Gen X that I can discuss. It's a comedy podcast, by the way, so keep it light. Headline number 1 they give me. You ready? Trump mixes up Greenland and Iceland again. Okay, I'm going to say you're the president of the United States. You probably shouldn't do that. I know a lot of us do, but that's okay. We're not the president of the United States. Okay, so my notes here are at the World Economic Forum in Davos, President Trump mistakenly referred to Greenland as Iceland. Look, if you're going to invade a country and take it over, at least pronounce it properly. Don't misidentify it. And as you'd expect, social media lost it. Memes are flooding X about confused geography in Arctic real estate. Okay. I mean, you can riff on growing up thinking Iceland was green, and that's now we're all adults. This is confusing, but his mistakes is reinforcing a fact that now we will never differentiate the two. I know I won't. And when I say Iceland, Greenland, Iceland, I'm like, if I looked at a map, which one's which? Greenland's the much bigger one. I know that. And Iceland is the more fun one to go visit. All right, headline 2, Macron's sunglasses moment. Okay, also from Davos, French President Emmanuel Macron drew attention for wearing sunglasses indoors on stage. Like he's too cool for the Global Economy Summit. I can't read. Okay, so compare this to that one guy at parties who always wears sunglasses inside the house at 2 a.m., absolutely unbothered by social norms. Yeah, that's the Coke dealer. That guy's selling the Coke. Or he has pink eye and didn't want to stay home. He wanted to go out and rave. I don't know. But when you're a world leader and you're wearing sunglasses indoors, I don't know what the backstory is there. I don't know if it's a fashion statement. I don't know if he's like, it's part of his poker face. You ever watch like World Series of Poker and they're wearing sunglasses? Like, maybe it's an intimidation factor. I don't know. But he's French, so maybe it's a French thing. Headline number 3, Trump and Stardew Valley meme. Have you heard about this one? Meanwhile, Trump has apparently confused Stardew Valley, the cozy farm game. I wouldn't know. I'm not a gamer. I'm not a nerd. Okay. With some political scandal about whole milk. And gamers have no clue what's going on. Does that relate to anybody? This is, again, ChatGPT pulled this stuff together for me. And I didn't really vet it. I'm just like, hey, let's just go with it. Let's go with it. And we'll chalk up another podcast episode. Bathtub Viking ice chase video. There's a viral video, or at least rumored online footage, of someone dressed like a Viking in a bathtub on wheels outrunning ice agents. Internet's 2026 action hero. All right. I don't know what the backstory is on that. Is that going to hinder ice? Like, whoa, the Vikings are here and they're bathing. Not a good time. We'll come back. I don't know. Again, let's go back to, like, what are you doing? Like, call your senator. All right. Go to the voting booth. That's how you affect change. Also, like, everyone's getting mad at ICE. Like, they're rolling out the policies that were set forth by our lawmakers. So if you want the laws, you want them to stop doing this, contact your lawmaker. That's all I got to say. All right. So that was the show. I'm all done. I ranted on long enough. Probably too long. I tend to do that. If you like the show, cool. Great. Thanks. Give us a like. Share it with a friend. If you don't like it, share it with an enemy. You know, you ever do that? You ever sign up for junk mail for your neighbor, like, because you don't like them, so now they just get all this junk mail? Like, I would never do that, but you know, you could. You could do that with this show too. You'd be like, hey, buddy, air quotes, you hate him. He's 3 cubes over. He's got the smoker's cough and microwaves tuna fish sandwiches in the lunchroom, and you're done with him. Forward him our podcast. Let him play with it. But yeah, if you really want to get in touch with us, you can reach out to, at Small Town Scuttlebutt on Instagram, Small Town Scuttlebutt on Facebook. Smalltownscuttlebutt.com is our website, and from there you can click on message, I believe, and that's how these guys get in touch with us. So you want me to read your thing? I think that worked out pretty good. Maybe we should actually do that. Share. So know that if you're going to write to us, we're possibly going to read it on the air and share it with you. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe that would be your 5 minutes of fame. Oh my God, he read my letter on Small Town Scuttlebutt. I can die now. Probably not something you're going to be thinking, but anyway. All right. Last note, go Patriots, beat the Broncos, and screw you Broncos for not selling tickets to New England fans. I know you're afraid of us because we're coming after you, baby. All right. Until next time, I'm Rick Fink. For Liz Daly and Evan Walsh, who couldn't show up today, this is Small Town Scuttlebutt. We'll see you next week. Thank you.